what's going on YouTube? My name's Parker and welcome back to another episode of Parker's POV. And today we're going to be taking a look at this guy here. This is the 2025 Scout Kenai. This is the largest model in their lineup. It's going to be geared towards those heavy half-ton trucks all the way up to your 1-ton trucks. It'll fit on a standard bed all the way up to 8-foot bed. So it'll accommodate a lot of different trucks. Still wouldn't put this on a regular half-ton. That's what the Olympic is designed for. So if you haven't seen that video yet, feel free to check that out on my channel. Just wanted to show you guys what's new for 2025, so we'll go over all those differences, so stay tuned. Okay guys, so for those that are new to my channel, just wanted to mention I'm going to start on the outside of the unit, work my way inside. But first I'll go ahead and throw some specs on the screen here for you, so feel free to pause the video to review those. And then something else I wanted to mention is these Scout campers are extremely customizable, so there's tons and tons of different options that you can go for if you just go on their website and build one out. And the cool thing about doing that is not only can you pick all the options that you want, but it's going to tally the total weight and cost depending on what those options are. So starting at the front here, we have the clear view bunk windows, which is an option. Otherwise, you can just have a solid wall on the front here. The cool thing about these windows is they do open. They've got solar reflective shades built into them as part of your blackout screen. And then they also have bug screens built into them. They're dual pane acrylic, so they're going to insulate very, very well. And then you do get a 190 watt solar panel up top here, as well as a little marker light bar. And I'll go ahead and throw in a short clip as well of the roof so you can see what's up there, but you'll see you've got the panel, you've got your skylight and your vent, essentially. So not a whole lot going on up there. Now, let's talk about the construction real quick. This does use a composite substrate material for the walls, the floor, the ceiling. But the main structure of this unit is actually going to be found on all the edges and corners around this unit. So it uses an exoskeleton design, which is really cool because it's going to give you really good structure. It's going to keep it extremely lightweight and durable. And these aluminum extrusions that make up all the edges are pretty heavy duty. They've got an external seal here, and then they have an internal seal as well to keep water out. Now, Scout has a very bold design, which I personally like. I think it looks really good. I'm a Toyota fanboy. I think it looks really good. Like on a, this would look great on a Tundra, except, well, I guess this one wouldn't because this is the Kenai, but an Olympic, you get the point. Really, really stylish campers here. Up front as well. Well, I guess on all four corners, you'll have manual jacks. So these are happy jacks. Cool thing about these is they've got these pins that you can pop out and just take the jacks off entirely. So if you put this on your truck, you don't plan to take it off, you can just leave these at home and save about 120 pounds, which is cool. They do have a couple settings. So right now it's in the outermost position. You can pull the pin and fold this down, and these will slide in and hug the camper if your truck allows for that. I'm guessing probably not, considering this is going to be going on bigger trucks, but just throwing that out there. Now, another option that this particular unit has are these bilateral bed rail runners, I think is what you call them. But these black brackets here that hang down are an option. Those are nice because they're going to fill that awkward gap between the side of your bed. They're also functional, so you could actually tie down maybe some max tracks, high lift jack, maybe shovels, axes, that sort of thing. They're only designed to hold about 50 pounds, so I wouldn't overload them. I've seen people try to hang hammocks from them. That's a bad idea. I don't recommend doing that. Scout has also conveniently marked where the center of gravity is on this one, so you'll just want to make sure that that red sticker is either on or in front of your axle. That way you don't run into any issues there. You do get a drain plug here. That's going to be for the sink inside, which I'll show you more of that here in a bit. Coming around to the rear, you do get a, looks like it's a 2-gallon, 7.5 liter water pack. It's a Roto Packs. So just some spare water. And then underneath here, I wanted to talk about these tie downs real quick. So because these campers are so lightweight, they don't need external frame mounted tie downs like you'd see on a traditional truck camper. These just use these ratchet straps and they'll secure to the existing D-rings in your bed. Underneath here, you get a 7-way plug. So that's if you want to charge your battery system off of your truck as you're driving. And then you do have a little solar plug as well if you'd like to add a, what do you call it? Like a briefcase style solar panel. Down here, we're going to have another little drain. You pop that cap off. That's for the shower. So this does have a little false floor in it, which I'll show you in a minute. Actually, I'll just show you right now while we're at it. So this little metal floor here is raised a little bit. You can pull that out and the water will drain out the hole here in the corner if you wanted to use that space as an indoor shower. Full-size door on this model, actually on all models, which is nice, especially if you're taller like me. I'm 6'1", so I don't tend to bang my head getting in and out of this thing, even when it's lower to the ground like this. You'll have a universal bracket up top. So this serves multiple purposes, but this is where you could mount your license plate if your state requires. You got a couple hooks here to hang maybe wet jackets or towels or things like that. It's got a door stop built into it, and then there's a hook up top where if you were to install like an aftermarket awning, like a bat wing, for instance, you could hook onto that. So a lot of functionality there. This one we actually equipped with a different style awning. So before we get to the diesel here, I'll show you this awning. So really cool thing about this awning is it's freestanding. So I'll throw in a short clip of me opening that up, but essentially you just undo the two little snaps, unlock it, pull it straight out, and it'll just stay there. And the convenient thing about going this route is it's mounted quite a bit lower than what you would see the universal brackets. So it's a lot easier to open and close when it's on your truck. If you get the universal bracket option, they're going to sit quite a bit taller, clear up here, and you're going to pretty much have to bring a ladder with you if you're wanting to open your awning if you go that route. So keep that in mind. Coming back to the rear, here's your diesel heater option. Really cool the way they designed this. So you just undo the two latches up top here, and you can lock these with a padlock, for those wondering. But you'll get a 2.75 gallon fuel tank here and your diesel heater unit here as well, all enclosed in this nice stainless steel looking box. Might be aluminum, I'm not totally sure, but really well designed, and it puts out a lot of heat. They did have a propane heater option at one point that was actually pretty cool looking, but they had some condensation issues, so they switched to a diesel heater because it puts out dry heat. So really nice. All right, let's head over to this side here. All right, there's a side profile of the passenger side here. I'll go ahead and show you this compartment. So the Kenai is going to have the most amount of external storage. Or in other words, this compartment's a little deeper, a little longer than what you'll see on like the Olympic and the Yoho. So this is also lockable. And then here's your propane compartment. So that'll open up. Now notice you have one tank pre-plumbed and ready to go, but it's also ready to install a second if you desire. And then there's also a little quick connect here if you were to bring a Blackstone or some sort of cooktop that you wanted to hook up externally and cook outside. So really cool that they included that. But anyway, that pretty much sums it up for the outside here. I'll go ahead and we'll switch things over and we'll head inside. Okay, so before we hop in the unit here, I just wanted to point this out real quick. So you do get a pretty good sized window on the back door here, and then you're gonna get a nice kind of, I guess, insulated cover here. And depending on what interior color you go for, because there's three different options, this is their stone gray interior fabric. They also have a kind of a greenish sage color, and then they also have Canyon, which is their kind of tan color. But whatever color you go with as far as all the seat cushions go, this will match. But yeah, really high quality material. This is a friction hinge door as well, so wherever you leave this door, it's got a good amount of resistance so that the wind can't come through and just slam it shut. Also, as you step inside here, you do get a fire extinguisher. There's another look at that little floor pan here that we went over earlier for the shower. Speaking of shower, your D-rings or whatever you want to call these up top, that's where you would actually hook your shower curtain to if you wanted to shower inside. I personally find it easier to pop this jerry can outside mount it on that bracket there, and then just shower outdoors. That way you don't have to worry about getting everything inside wet. Now, because this is the Kenai, it's going to be a longer unit, which is actually going to give you a lot more storage here. So notice you got a really good size storage cubby here, really good size storage above that with some adjustable shelving in here. So you could hang clothes up there if you really wanted to. Now, panning around to this side, we do have a toilet option on this one. So this is the Dometic portable toilet. They also make a cassette toilet that is built into the camper and has an external door here that you can open, pull the cassette tank out, go dump it, slide it back in. So that's the other option. But this one's nice too because you can use this in or outside of the camper and then just go dump it. So you'll notice there's this little table here. Of course, if you're going to use the restroom, you'll want to lift that up, and it's held up with magnets, and then you got some space to do your business here. All right, as I hop up inside here real quick, I'll show you. You got another really big storage compartment here with some hanging brackets up top, and then you'll have some USB. Actually, let me double check. No, that looks like just a 12-volt charge port up top. And then you got a little light switch on the side here. So if I click that, that's going to turn on my porch light outside. You'll have your intake and exhaust for the furnace here. And your thermostat for the furnace will be located on the side of this unit here. Now, as we pan around to the kitchen space, couple things. So one of the biggest changes, one of the changes I should say for 2025 is going to be the sink. So they made the sink bigger. That was a big complaint on the other models. So much bigger, wider sink. Still stainless steel undermounted sink. You got this nice little inlay here if you wanted to use this counter space to prep your food. 5-gallon, well, it's technically 4.9-gallon jerry can here. Cool thing about this unit here is it's got a pump, right? So you can hand pump it, create pressure, and spray things off, wash your hands. But it's also got a built-in filter, so you could fill this thing up with river water, maybe lake water, filter it out, and you could still drink it. So pretty cool. Another big change for 2025 is going to be the new Fantastic fan. So that's a full-size fan now rather than just the little tiny one above the kitchen. That's going to move a ton of air through this unit. So it's going to make it so when you're cooking, for instance, you can get a lot of the smells and things out of the camper a lot more efficiently, but it's also going to give you just a lot more airflow considering this unit does not have built-in AC. Another change for 2025 is going to be these lights. So notice how the LED light is a warmer color. On the older models, 2024s and earlier, you're going to have more of a harsh white light. So a little bit warmer feeling in here. I personally like that subtle touch. Here's the Dometic 2-burner stove. This is also an option from the factory. That's removable if you wanted to take that outside and cook outside with it. You'll have a bottle opener down here, more storage. So Scout does a really good job at including a ton of little storage compartments all the way around this thing. So lots and lots of storage here. Back up a little bit. More storage here. Carbon monoxide detector down low. And then here's one of the biggest changes for 2025 is going to be their new power tower is what they're marketing it as. It's a Victron energy system, and it's powered by a 132 amp hour Expion battery. It's lithium, it's self-heated and expandable, so you could add another one of those batteries in here. And just to give you an idea, that's going to give you more power than the Yeti 3000X ever gave anybody on the previous models as well. There is an option as well to get an inverter installed right here if you need to power any higher draw devices. 12-volt Dometic fridge here as well. This is an option. So you got two compartments. You could set one as a freezer, one as a fridge, or both. However you like. It's all configured here on this screen here. And then this one has a really good size secondary bed here when you take this dinette and convert it into a bed. I'll go ahead and throw a picture in here of what that looks like. All right, so let's talk about the windows for a second here. So we saw them from the outside, but I'm going to show you how they work. So you've got these 4 different latches here. Let's go ahead and undo each of those. The whole window's then going to prop open. And there's a couple of stages where it'll lock and stay open. Then we can go ahead and lock that back up. And then check this out. We got a built-in bug screen. And then if we pull the whole thing down, we've got our blackout shade. So really, really cool design, how it's all integrated together and works seamlessly. These gear bags are also going to be an option on the website. You can get one or the other or both, like this unit has. Something they changed for 2025 is these don't hang down as low, so there's less of a gap, and it keeps them from moving around as much as you're driving. All right, guys, and now for my favorite change for 2025, it's going to be this bed system. So before they had a, gosh, what do they call it? Their bunk extension option, where you would have essentially a panel here and a panel here that you could pull out from under the bed, and then you had to hook a strap onto that panel and hang it from the roof, and it just didn't work very well. Well, I guess it worked okay, but then you had to take your bags down, and it was just a little bit more hassle and setup. So now what they've gone to is this new system where you essentially just pull this giant tray out, and this thing's going to turn into a huge bed. I'll go ahead and list the dimensions on there for those wondering. But a huge, huge bed. You could easily sleep 2, 3, maybe even 4 people on this bed, depending on, you know, if it's kids or maybe dogs or something like that. And then you still have this bed down here to sleep any additional people. So really like what they did with this new bed design. An option that I think is worth going for nowadays. Now, another cool option, well, it's actually standard on the Kenai, actually all the models now, I believe. But anyway, you get this cool Hecky skylight. So right now I've got the blackout shade on here, but if I go ahead and open this up, now you've got access to the roof. So that opens up, and again, you're going to get a lot of airflow through that. But if you opt for the rooftop tent, that's actually how you access the tent from inside. You can crawl up through into the tent, or you can access it on the side via a ladder. You also have the bug screen built into this window as well. So pretty cool, guys. That probably doesn't cover everything, but that's all I'm going to cover in this video. If there's anything that you had questions on or anything that wasn't addressed, feel free to leave a comment down below, guys. I'm really good about responding to those, and I do check those daily. But as always, I appreciate everybody for watching. If you liked what you saw, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. And yeah, peace out.